only voice in this room. Everybody's voice matters. So just because you come in and say something doesn't mean that I just automatically come in and disqualify you. I think if I tell you why I'm saying, or if I understand why you're saying, just more words.
Okay. Back to.
So if we would just quickly, I don't know, I think I might have wrote it in my journal.
Let me see.
Oh, in there?
Yeah.
That's more so life napping stuff. Lonnie, fix my life.
Whole time it could be in here though.
I don't think it is, because I'm pretty caught up on my stuff. But anyway, what work have you done, Angel, expressing patient, kind, love the past 2 weeks?
You found it? No.
I'm just moving forward.
So just go one by one. You don't have to do all in one.
Just one example of how you express patience. One example of how you express kindness. How this expression has helped you evolve your manifestation of love, because that's the objective for us to. I know. Never mind. Go ahead. And you can skip, but you don't get to not go. So if you need to think,
stop skipping as well.
I think skipping until they learn how to talk on the money. I'm not sitting here in silence for 10 hours. So I think that we should be able to skip. What do you guys think about skipping?
They need to have respect and that's it. One, because I do understand that last time I was the person that was skipping. So I'm coming from the perspective that I don't know. I just feel like skipping's a cop-out. Where you get to hear everybody else what they say or something, and then you figure out something.
Well, maybe that helps them develop their idea, because they're not at this.
Like it's weak-minded. Like
I agree, skipping is weak-minded, but we've got weak minds in the room.
But we're trying to make people not have weak minds.
So we don't allow them to skip and not do. We just let them skip and come back to them.
Okay.
What do you think about skipping? Should we allow skipping in our meetings, right?
Yeah, so they can get themselves together. So they can get their thoughts together, sure.
Angel, what do you think about skipping? Excuse me.
Yeah.
You think skipping should be allowed? Why? I like how Dre said yes, and this is the reason why. Why do you think?
Because it's fair. Because everybody gets to answer in their own time.
Okay, thank you.
Are you
Michael,
sick?
what do you think about skipping in family
The person I'm
meetings?
getting eye contact with right now. Yes, you.
Okay, Kaden, what do you think about skipping in meetings? Do you think it's good or bad? I don't like good or bad. Do you think we should or we shouldn't do it?
No, you know you're telling me no.
Okay, Michael. Don't raise your hand to speak and not have anything to say. All right. Oh, I thought you were raising your hand. I apologize. All right, so Angel, this past 2 weeks, how have you expressed patient love and kindness love?
You didn't find it?
I stopped looking for it. I didn't necessarily take notes for us to go back to something. I took my own notes, I believe. Maybe.
No, you're taking notes for everybody, so I'm trying to pull.
I didn't know I was the note taker. Why would I take them in my journal? That wasn't the smartest decision on me. I'm talking to myself.
I know, but you said I didn't take notes for everyone. And I'm literally saying you did. You literally took everything that someone said. Like, okay, so why do you mean that? And you wrote exactly, well, not exactly down, but literally you're asking those questions for a reason, and you have to paper something.
For me. Go ahead, Angel.
Kaden, keep it quiet. I expressed patience yesterday by allowing Kaden to come to store with me.
How was that experience? How did you express patience?
By being patient, because it was kind of like, because when we were getting this stuff, he was kind of just standing in the middle.
Me?
And how did you correct them patiently?
I told him we can't sit and walk away.
Put your camera off my neck, please.
You can't sit and walk away because you're gonna be over his way. And you have to get out the way. Even if you sit on the side, you can't move.
Okay, so you took the time to explain to him instead of just grabbing him and moving him? Okay. Is that what happened, Kaden?
Nope.
What happened?
Hey,
I
hey!
I thought them through them. Yeah. I thought the one to.
Was Angel nice to you when you walked to the store with her?
He better say yes because I know.
He doesn't better have to say anything. Was Angel nice to you when you walked to the store yesterday? Will you bring me some tissue, Angel Bailey?
At home we were not yesterday.
At home she wasn't?
Yes.
Alright, sounds good. How did you express kindness? Love expression, Angel. Thank you.
Being kind to outside.
Oh yeah, I've seen that relationship grow. That's cool. Excuse me.
Move, dog. Like, why do they sit directly on me? Go. Go.
He's trying to get them. He's trying to get your.
Sit.
He's trying to get your shoe. He's trying to chew it up like a dog's.
Like, literally sitting on her feet.
Lay
Go.
down.
He thinks.
Over there. Anywhere else but this corner.
Stop jumping!
Household to alfalfa. I don't just want to hear a statement. I want to also hear what
How you did it.
it.
At least 3 sentences.
Like this is standard, okay? Don't just say a word. I want to know this is how it was done. Do you need that's not my binder. Here's my binder.
I'm gonna read the Holy Bible back.
When someone demonstrates understanding, this is what me and Dre came up with. Being able to repeat the message sent in your own words with relevant examples. Apply to current and past resolutions points before hypothetical, which means demonstrate understanding. Tell me how you were kind to alfalfa in your own words, not just I was kind to alfalfa.
I was going to the horse bar.
But cutting him and trying to like, understand him and stuff.
How you
You
can
can shut that door.
I don't know.
Well, see, this is what the answer is. Before you say, I don't know, you think to yourself
Okay.
and you
so-
think about what the answer to that question is. Or you're not being conscious. You're not thinking about what you're doing. You're just doing stuff. You're not being intentional.
If you don't learn from your growth, then you don't grow.
How are you supposed to know how to do what you did before if you're not paying attention and it's an I don't know?
Does that make sense? If you didn't pay attention to how you got on a bike and balanced and pedaled and moved forward, the next time you got on a bike,
No.
you wouldn't know how to ride a bike. And the next time you got on the bike, you wouldn't know how to ride a bike. But when you finally paid attention to what you were doing to achieve a goal, you figured out how to ride a bike. Does that correlation make sense to you?
It's okay to say no.
I know how to ride the bike, you know.
Okay, so everything that you do in your makeup, the first time you did it, you were like, okay, I tried to do what she was doing, but I didn't achieve her goal. So you
Don't
watched
stand on
it
it, you're gonna
again
break it, okay?
and you studied her, right? And you figured out what she was doing, and then you figured out how to do it. And you started paying attention to what you were doing and you got better, correct? The same thing with thinking. You actually have to pay attention to how and what you're doing. So that when someone says, well, how did you do that? I don't know. No, you actually do know, and here's how. So now you've taught yourself something, and because you paid attention to how you did it, you can teach others.
And that's the whole initiative of what we're trying to do. Like, you want to be not necessarily respected, but you want to be.
No, stop
you want your
interrupting the
opinions
meeting.
and thoughts to be accounted for, but your thoughts and opinions need to hold weight, just like everybody else's in the room. And if it's I don't know, or ultimately you're gonna lose that respect that everybody else has and are able to give.
You gotta stop being one of the kids in the room.
Right, like I
is
don't
what
know how to
she's
say
saying.
it. It's just very. I don't know. It's just there's a line. And
Alright. Well, I saw.
Mommy, do you have like
Please stop interrupting the meeting.
are you listening to Love is Patient, Love is Kind?
And stop sticking your lips out like that. I saw a lot of growth with Angel and Alfalfa. He doesn't bark at her or growl at her, and he's sniffing her feet right now, and she was petting him, and she was like, look, Mom, and she showed me that he allows her to pet him now. So I've seen a lot of growth in that, and I
Pillow up on the beach.
and I believe a lot of what the relationship with you and Alfalfa is you have energetically grown, and he didn't like your energy before, but he messes with it now, so I'm happy for you.
Don't stop that in
Am I
here.
supposed to have no phone?
Yes, you
We're
need to
getting
be
there.
writing
You need to be
down.
able to talk first.
You need to write down love. You got the criteria, correct?
Give me that pen.
Is there a better way you can
No,
ask?
I'm using them both. I'm using all three of my utensils.
Then you give me
But
that
is there
pen.
a better way that you can ask for something instead of gimme?
She says,
Oh, well, I would prefer, do you mind handing me that, or gimme? I don't want gimme at all. Coming from Michael, Caden, or Angel. Can you hand me? May I please have?
Hey
Am I supposed to
Siri,
be writing down?
can you just follow along in the conversation and we'll get to when we tell you exactly what to say?
I told her exactly what to say at the beginning of the meeting, but you weren't paying attention. So unfortunately, you can't fulfill the assignment because I'm not repeating myself.
Bro, we cannot be like this.
No, if
It needs to-
so, where's the standard?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The standard needs to be, Angel, if you're going to be in these spaces, and this is why I'm always talking to her when something happens. Because now you're like, you know what, I'm finally ready to withdraw because she's showing me ample times where she's not paying attention. So it's like, well, why help now?
Well,
When I've been trying to track it the entire time.
well,
You need to face this way. You need to do this. You need to do that.
Well, if you would like to reiterate
I
the
just
three
thought-
criterias we're writing from, by all means. But I feel you've already reminded her she needs to be present. And I explained the three perspectives we're writing from.
But I feel like that eliminates the whole purpose. Because the person who needs the most help,
Well, then reiterate.
I'm not saying reiterate, I'm saying
I have my boundaries, and my boundaries are I
okay,
explained
I
it after
understand.
you.
got it.
Okay, Dre. How have you explained or expressed patience, kindness in your love expression the past 2 weeks? Caden, stop being a disruptor to the meeting. Just sit down and be in the meeting.
Yes, what's the name? Playing too much. Going somewhere.
Dre, did you hear me address you? Or are you
Yeah, I
thinking?
did, but you ain't finished the question.
No, I said this past 2 weeks, how have you expressed patience and kind love? That was the end of my question.
I show patience, but every time I'm frustrated, I don't voice it. I keep it to myself. I don't voice it. I don't bring it. My thoughts, or I ain't gonna say negative thoughts, but my frustrating thoughts to the family. I don't even voice. So whatever's going on that I'm frustrated about, I keep it to myself. It's patience. That's how it's with my patience. Get out of his face.
So could there have been a patient expression of getting out of his face? I'm just asking. I don't know.
I just said it. It was happening, and then I said it.
So that was the most effective way.
Well, what is
Yeah.
our mission statement as a family? Like, are we
That's
moving
what I
intentionally,
thought.
or are we just
I was just asking a
are we
question.
just
I wasn't
allowing things to
criticizing.
be?
I think I should be allowed to ask questions without them to be received as a criticism.
It's not no criticism to me. That's just how I feel. I feel that I needed to say something at that point, and that's what I said.
Okay. So I feel the energy of the rebuttal to my question is the same energy that I would get if I were criticizing you and I'm just asking a question. I'm not criticizing, and so I think maybe the energy in responding to questions that I ask, because I'm going to ask questions because we are trying to better ourselves. So I am going to intentionally ask, could we have done that better? And I think we should all have the space to be able to ask, could we have done everything better? And if we are practicing patience in everything that we do, if we are practicing kindness in everything that we do, I just wonder, every chance there is an opportunity of self-correction, could that have been done differently?
Could have been done differently from your perspective.
No, not from my perspective, from yours.
If you think it's not, then say no.
He said what he said, he did what he did. So that was the end of it. I was addressing the way that the response came back to me. It felt like potentially you thought that I was criticizing you when I was just asking a question. Could that have been an instance where you applied patience? Maybe saying, hey, what are you supposed to do with the dog? That could have been patience and offering Caden an opportunity to correct himself. Instead of telling him something, we tell him over and over and over again. Telling him isn't changing the behavior. He needs to develop a knowing to not do that. Correct yourself,
Can you
Caden.
let the dogs out there, please?
Yeah, just let Afton out there. And
Just
say-
put those
Just let-
dogs out there so you're
Just
not
put
distracted.
Kaya out there and Alfie lay down. Kaya out.
I could just see into the eye. I can only see the eye, but not.
You're being disruptive to the meeting by having a side conversation. Pay attention to yourself. You put the Kindle down and now you're distracting yourself in other ways. That's not growth. That's just transference. Caden, let the dogs out and sit down.
Daya. Daya. Daya.
Alright, how did you demonstrate kindness?
Were you talking to me?
Yes, we're still on you.
Oh.
Here.
Oh, I demonstrated a lot of kindness today. I mean, this week, in the last 2 weeks, I gave away 3 haircuts of somebody that needed it. What else did I do? I changed a baby diaper.
What?
Yeah, that was nice.
Was it a girl or boy?
It was a girl.
At the thingy.
Yeah, that was nice.
Why was it nice? That's kind of cute.
I bought kids Fruit Loops and milk for breakfast. What else did I do?
This is all just.
I gave $3 to a homeless lady in a wheelchair.
Man, look at you.
Quite
You done
detailed.
went back home and became some sort of saint.
I did that before I left.
Okay. Dang. I've never seen you give a homeless person money.
I always give homeless people money. But what else did I do?
Oh, it's bored.
I did something else. Oh, I gave compliments. I give compliments to people. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, compliments to a lot of
Something
different
repeats.
people.
So what was an
I
expression?
gave a lot of hugs. That's an expression. That was a good expression. All of those was expressions to me. I expressed my kindness and my patience and my love and affection for people by interaction.
So what was an expression that was different than your typical expression that you feel maybe grew you in love?
By taking the time to give people my time.
So you actually paid attention to
Yes,
who you were giving your time to and how your time was being.
just giving my time is important.
What does giving your time mean?
All of those things that I just said, hugs, affection, free haircuts, everything that I explained about what I had did to be nice and kind to people.
Can you back up? You're all
Kaden, just find a seat.
Compliments, hugs,
Sit down.
all kind of things.
Okay.
Conversations.
Sounds good. Anybody else have any questions?
I don't.
I have a question about when you're frustrated, why aren't you expressing your frustrations?
Because it does me no good to express my frustration because I don't want to get into argument or I don't want to explain my frustration because you don't understand or you guys don't understand where I'm coming from. So I don't, and it makes it better that way.
So if something frustrates you once,
It's the same thing. My frustration ain't like what you think. My frustration is normal man stuff, bills and coming home to a clean house and kids not listening and it's normal frustrations like that. Things getting tore up every time, all that. Those are my frustrations, and they repeat it all the time. And bills come every month, just like they tear up shit every day in the house. So those are frustrations that come. So they repeat it, they repetitive, and I don't have to keep expressing them to you because you already know.
Do you think the things that you keep getting upset with, do you think there's a way that you're able to not get upset with it?
No, it's not. It's just frustration.
It's all you-
If they keep happening, then they keep happening, and I keep getting frustrated.
But
I keep
why?
having to pay the same bills, and it's frustrating when you ain't got the money to pay them. That's why. And it's frustrating when you tell a kid not to
Stop.
do something and they still do it. That's why. So it's always gonna be frustrating because that's
Why
what it
is
is.
paying your bills frustrating now?
Because if you don't have the money to pay them, it gets frustrating.
But I'm thinking, because I feel like you're living present day, which is nice, but overall, has it always been frustrating for you to pay your bills? Has it
No,
always?
it hasn't always been frustrating for me to pay my bills.
So how?
what's the difference?
Right, that's what I'm saying. One, because he keeps saying that he doesn't have enough money, so I feel like that's what the frustration is.
Well, where I am addressing the choice to stay in a space
exactly,
of frustration. So
like,
if we go down the bill road, that's a
I get
whole nother
frustrated about-
space.
I get frustrated about talking about the bills. I get frustrated about talking about every time I have to come home, something tore up. I get frustrated about all of that. So there's no other way to not get frustrated about those except my bills get paid on time and my shit not get tore up and all kind of other stuff that I explained.
So
That's the only way that's not gonna happen. So me not being frustrated. Because I'm a man and that's what I worry about.
So my question is, and I'm not dishonoring your
manhood.
definition of manhood.
Go.
My
See, y'all
question,
Well, what are we trying
and
to
I
do?
already know where this finna go, and I don't wanna go, I don't wanna take it there, because you feel like I'm saying it's man against woman or something like that, and it's not. I don't know.
We're just trying to make sure we're not offending you, so we're acknowledging
Well,
the fact that you feel as a man that
Because
you
it's
have to
gonna be
worry about
another
these
question
things.
about, and I thought I perfectly explained myself, every question that you asked, and I perfectly explained myself, and I try to do that, and then
So
I
you
feel
don't
that
want us
you're
to
not
ask any
understand-
clarification
not
questions.
not that at all. I feel the next question is like, it's almost repetitive, like you're not understanding.
Not at all,
'Cause you're not
because
saying anything
our
different.
conversation
Okay.
You're
initially
not, though.
was
I'm not saying anything, but
patience.
stop listening.
That's not what I'm saying. You're not saying anything different. As in, we're asking you
I
more
just-
questions to get a different answer than what you said
It's
before.
nothing different about the answer.
It
It's
is
the
if
same
you actually
question.
let me get the question out, because
Okay.
I have not been able to form a complete sentence without you cutting me off. So for you to say I perfectly explained myself, that is why I'm not asking you a question about patience. I'm not asking you a question about kindness. I am asking a question about the use of the word frustration. And you said, as a man, I feel that I should be frustrated. And that's why I said, I am not challenging your ideal of what a man is. Okay, you accept frustration as manhood. And
That's not what I.
that's why I'm asking questions. If I could get a
What is
question
it?
out.
What is
But
it?
if
then?
every time you have a rebuttal and I'm trying to explain to you why I'm asking the question. But if I gotta keep going back and saying, I just look, Dre, there are certain things that I know that we have chosen to accept that do not serve us. I'm sure there's a behavior in your past that you accepted like this is just a part of living, and then you got out of it like gang affiliation. You're like, this is just part of life, and then something happened in your life, you're like, oh, you don't have to be a part of the gang, so you disassociated. Is it possible through asking some questions, through thinking of things differently, maybe frustration isn't a required part of life? So if I'm allowed to ask questions, which then cause you to think of things differently, maybe we can see that every day I walk in this house, I get frustrated about the exact same things. And as Bailey is saying, bills come every month. Once upon a time, you didn't get frustrated about bills. Now we understand that it's not the bills that's frustrating you. It's the inability to pay the bills. So now we understand our actual frustration point is not having enough money, and now we can start talking about that and solving that instead of choosing to stay in a space of frustration.
And suppressing your emotions.
And suppressing your emotions, because that is not patience. You may be showing patience to us, but you are not showing patience and kindness to yourself because you're holding shit in. And that's not the way you should be living when you're trying to function as a family. So I'm asking questions. And you won't even allow a space to ask questions. I already know where this is going. No, because every time I ask a question, you cut me off because you think the questions I'm asking. You don't know where I'm going, because soon as you said something popped in my head. Unless you're a mind reader, you don't know what I'm about to say. Because not one conversation that I have had with you, except for me going back and forth with you about rebuttaling, is the same conversation we've ever had before, because we are trying something different, which is something you said you're open to.
I'm open to it.
Okay, so let's keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as frustration,
Bailey asked about, have you always been frustrated? Kaden, stop. Have you always been frustrated about paying bills?
No, I'm just frustrated when I don't have the money to pay the bills.
So the money is a frustration point. What is frustration to you? What is the definition of frustration, so I understand?
Getting angry when you ain't gotta pay the bills. When you can't got no money to pay the bills, that's it.
Well, no, just the word frustration. So you get angry. Frustration for you is anger.
Yes, it's you want another word? I don't know another word besides frustration and anger, because they pretty much mean the same thing.
Exactly. So I think we could pull that out. What does frustration mean to you, Bailey? Angel, I'm gonna ask you.
I would say
Michael,
uncomfortable.
I'm gonna ask you. Kate, I'm gonna ask
It's
you.
an uncomfortable predicament.
Uncomfortable. Or I just spelled that any kind of way.
Right.
Uncomfortable, predicament. Angel, what does frustration mean to you?
When the situation makes you upset. I feel like anger is more of an emotional you feel towards people, and frustration is more of like a, general
You
thing.
can't get angry at a situation.
Yeah, you can. You can do whatever you choose, whatever your mind is. It's just the fact that we're trying to open up the conversation beyond two words that sit hand in hand together.
Yeah, she's saying frustration, anger are basically the expression of the same thing, and a person causes you, or a circumstance, to your point, causes you to experience anger. I believe that might be what she was saying. And we're just trying to figure out what frustration means so that we can figure out frustration, because I don't think that frustration, especially towards your family, is healthy if our goal is to move forward in God divine love. So if being in the same space as your family causes you frustration, which causes you anger, it makes you feel uncomfortable, it makes you feel upset. And Michael, what does frustration mean to you? Do you know what frustration means?
Yeah.
Okay.
What does angry mean?
What does angry mean?
Mad.
Mad. So frustration is mad, okay? An expression of of being upset. All right. To me, frustration is a problem that you cannot solve, or you haven't figured out how to solve something, so you're frustrated, you're trapped in something and you can't figure out how to get out of it. A problem you can't solve.
What?
And no obvious solution. So if we as a family have an understanding that frustration means that it's a problem you can't solve without obvious solutions, it makes you uncomfortable, it makes you angry, and it makes you upset, and it makes you mad. Now we understand that in order for us not to experience frustration, we have to figure out solutions to problems. And the problem that we have presently that's causing you frustration is the kids tearing things up. Do you see how we're working towards a solution?
Mm-hmm.
The kids tearing things up and lack of money. Those are your two frustration points? Are those the only two we want to focus on? Okay, so I think the easiest to address would be lack of money right now. How can we solve that frustration point? What are some ideas how we can solve the lack of money frustration point?
I feel like there's some things we gotta take off of our plates. As far as how much do you think the Mazda would cost to get fixed so we can give it back? I feel like we should just give the car back.
Yeah.
And then work towards getting our own car for one.
Yeah, just.
'Cause I don't know. I do want to take care of ourselves before we take care of others, but ultimately I also want to clean our slate before we go back up.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you guys think? Because it's not really a conversation with me involved.
This conversation goes back to money.
And we're working on solving it.
Even in the
I'm just saying.
Well, obviously, if do you want our answer to be, okay, kids, go in the corner, get a car wash sign, and tell people you're charging $5 to wash cars?
No, I understand exactly what you're trying to say, but
So add to the conversation.
So how are we gonna make money then?
That's what I'm trying.
Exactly. So what's your piece to add money then?
Only way I know how to add money is work at my shop, get another stream of income. I was gonna think about, I gotta get my registration thing did. I was gonna Uber or Lyft or whatever after work. That's the only thing I can think of right now that's gonna get more money in my pocket. I can't explain or I can't tell you guys what to do because
This is a conversation we're having. You're not telling us what to do. We're giving.
I
Offering
don't know any
suggestions.
ideas for you. I don't even need suggestions on how can you guys get more money.
Would you rather it be we rely on you to come up? Because I feel like you think that as a man that you're supposed to take care of everything, which I mean, sure, okay, but we're in a space where it's like, okay, what's the plan you want to create? Because at this point, if I got a second job, I would have enough funds to not consistently help out, but have a substantial amount of money to help out. Because right now I'm at, say, $500 every 2 weeks. And the way I live, I have $300 already going out for braces and the fitness thing. So that's $200 to help the household. That's not substantial. So as far as creating a plan where we all can be assets and not just you.
And I'm here to say that I don't know any other way that all of us can get active in one plan to make money fast enough to get us out of the situation that we're in right now. I can't actively sit up here and think of a plan to get us out other than what I just said.
So you would rather us rely on you. What dynamic would you like? Because
no, I would like for you guys to get jobs or do whatever you need to do to produce some more money to put together with mine so we can get out of the situation. And then I said that I don't know what I would say for you guys to do or what you would like to do to make more money or to help me get out of the situation. I don't know. And then I said that I don't know a plan for us together to come together to make money fast enough to get us out of the situation. That's my answer to your question.
Okay. So, with that being said, would you not want to be a part of the conversation of people trying to figure out ways because you don't know how to think of ways, or would you?
No, I can be in a conversation.
Exactly. So this is what we're doing now. Exactly what we're doing now.
I can be in a conversation. That's fine. But yeah.
Okay.
Alright, my suggestion is developing a budget, because you keep saying the situation. No one really knows what the situation is except for you.
Yeah,
There's not enough money. Okay, where's the money going? Where's the money coming in? What's going on? No one knows anything about anything. So I think developing a budget would be the first piece to at least getting us on the same page to know what we need. Because even if we go and make more money, where's the money going?
Spending, or if you're not buying what you need when you need it, then stop.
Excuse me, you
Stop.
didn't ask. So go pour
and
it
as
out.
far as we all need to be,
You don't use anything and come in my room and use anything without permission.
I already asked her.
as far
You
as
didn't.
the
I said you're
kids,
disrupting the meeting. Remember? And I said stop. You asked, but you didn't get a response. I'm listening.
no, I was saying as far as the kids and stuff, and how for example, them using things and not necessarily being mindful of wanting to use it
So
later.
consumption is important.
So as far as us all managing that and not just, oh, well, okay, now we have a budget, but everyone's still running through food, everyone's still running through ketchup, everyone, we're literally rebuying things over and over again because people aren't being, not conservative, but they're just using how much they want and throwing the rest away.
They're not being mindful of consumption. They're overusing. And so I think developing a budget is my suggestion. I know that contacting rent assistance programs have been on the table in city services. The water people, instead of allowing our water bill to escalate, they actually have the number that you called once, but you called too late in the month to get assistance for that month. But
It's this month now.
we can call, well, you can call. All these things are in your name, so I can't do it for you. But call city services with their assistant program so we can get some assistance. There's programs out there to assist with what we're experiencing. All of these bills are in your name, so they won't even talk to me. So I don't know if you need support somehow, somebody finding a phone number for you or what, but no one can make these phone calls for you.
So,
You have to do it.
How do you want the assistance?
I think that was not I think that question was.
You're not using it.
And unnecessary.
I don't think it is because you haven't used it. We've been in this predicament for a year and a half. And
Andre told you about rent assistance months ago. So if you did want the assistance, you would have made the phone call. So I think it is a relevant question because you haven't used it. So why haven't you used it?
I guess that's a better question. Sorry.
Doing that, and I've been so busy doing other shit that it hasn't been on my mind.
But you see
So
how
you would
taking
rather
this off your
live
plate.
in a frustration point instead of finding maybe 2 hours of months of hours to make a phone call.
Okay, well, if
What's
you
our
wanna sit there
plan?
and talk about that, then
No, if this is a resource, you literally need help paying the rent. There's rent assistance,
where is it
but
at?
you
I
have
don't
to
even
call.
know Where's the
Ask-
number?
Okay,
it's
so
in
this
the
is the
text
conversation we
message.
need.
It's
Okay.
in the text
Well,
message. I would probably
I'll get the
ask
number.
Andre, which was the resource for the information.
I'll get the number and I'll call. Straight
Um,
away tomorrow.
It's not about us making you feel you need initiative. It's about you feeling you
No,
want
if
to
I
take the
feel like I
initiative
have to
forward.
do everything for everybody all the time.
And
Yeah.
this is what you put
Welcome
yourself
to
into,
running a
being the
family.
man. You
Okay.
keep saying, as a man, I need to do this, I need to do that. And we're trying to ask you, we're asking you what you need us to do and how to help you so you don't have to do everything.
I stated it then.
but that's not solving the issue.
I feel like you trying to bombard me with some shit. You know you're supposed to do this and you need help with this and blah 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 and it's been right here and you say you need help, but why you not doing it? Why you not doing it? Why you not doing it?
I'm
Okay,
asking
so
you
can I ask
why you're
can-
not.
can-
She's not.
It
Can
feels
I
like bombardment.
explain? So you need to work on your delivery system, Angel Bailey, because you're asking questions, but you're asking too rapidly, which is exactly
It ain't even about
what
that.
I said with the way that you go with Angel. So instead of you say, could it be just using what perhaps you gotta
No,
you
I
gotta
have
use
a
extra
weak for
language.
This is very weak for you guys not to.
No,
I
I
feel like it
understand
is.
exactly what you're saying. You're not talking to me.
I know you're not. I know, but
But
I know
people
this is a learning.
I get frustrated too when I'm being chastised by people that ain't even doing what they saying to tell me to do. Meaning that you trying to tell me how to live and how to get my life straight, and y'all not living by this shit either.
What are we supposed to be doing in our lives?
I don't know, but
have frustration in my life. We were helping you work through your frustration so we could take that off your plate.
Do you not want
But
to help?
unfortunately, to get that frustration off your plate, you're gonna have to take some
I'm
action.
just saying, that's my feel, and that's my actions. That's how I feel. I
But
feel like you jumping down my throat about the same things that you need to be improving in your lives and whatever you need to be doing.
exactly, we're all reflections of each other. So what we're able to come up with working together,
Go get them from outside and stop doing that. You're intentionally making that sound in a room full of people. Go do that in the living room.
so yes, we're all reflections for each other. So if we can talk this out with you, we're working through something that you need assistance with as a family. You have chosen to stay in a space of frustration, and we as a family are saying, why are you in frustration? Oh, finances. Now let's come up with some solutions. Okay, possible solution is rent assistance, which it's just the truth.
I will go find the rent assistance. I will do what I need to do to go get the rent assistance.
That's not.
So that's off of the table. So
It's-
I will
it's
be able.
not.
I would. That will be the first priority. Tomorrow I will find a number. I will find a way to see if I can get rental assistance or whatever I need to do that will get taken care of.
Are you doing that so we will be
No,
quiet?
I will. Yes, I am.
Yes,
So-
but that's not solving the
Exactly.
Yes,
problem.
I am. I
It's
said
not
I'm
solving.
solving the problem tomorrow.
It's
Can I-
not that problem.
Can I
The
get
problem
my
is
question out?
Go ahead.
Okay.
He said yes. Yes, that is what I'm doing.
We're not talking about rental assistance. We're talking about you've known of a resource for at least half a year and have not moved on the resource, and we want to figure out what possibly.
Working my ass off trying to keep the rent paid.
Where's the logic in this?
And when I get out of this house, that's all I be worried about. I go and I have a busy day or whatever I need to do, and then that don't cross my mind. And then I get home, and then it ain't time for me to call. My day go like that sometimes. It don't be all the time that I be sitting up not wanting to do the shit.
We're not saying that's the case.
No
We're
one
That
saying,
is. It sounds like that's what you're saying.
we're saying that
because
your life
you're
would be 10 times
choosing-
easier if you went 4 months ago and signed up for the renter's assistance,
well,
and the rent would be cheaper, so you have more money to
It's
pay
not
your
gonna be
bills.
cheaper. It's
That's
just gonna
not-
be a sentence.
It's
Assistance
gonna
is
just be
still
for
gonna
that
be the
one
same.
month. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
It's just like if we all in the house and then I gotta go get assistance, then why can't you find a way to make assistance? You live in this motherfucker too? Make assistance, go find a
I
way
don't know
too.
your bills. I don't know your house.
You do, you live in this mother too. It's the same basic
I'm
bills,
really
everything.
18.
It's rent,
I don't have any of your information.
it's
You're
rent,
in. I don't
it's
have
rent,
anything.
it's lights, it's gas.
Yeah, I can't pay
it's
unless I
water,
give you money,
and
and
that's
I don't
about
know what
it.
you're using it
It's
for.
internet, it's all the streaming services, it's basic shit that everybody pay every month.
And I've never done that before.
That's because
Dre.
you're not grown yet.
And I never said I was.
and you want her to become a part
And
of
you're
the
being an example of
conversation.
something that I don't know how to become.
You want her to jump into it. Excuse me?
Do me not gonna need to be here. I'm not saying that because this is becoming an argument.
He's choosing for it to become an argument. I was trying to help his frustration point, and it caused him to feel frustrated. So
This is weird. This is actually weird.
this is why, the ability to move forward.
You need to.
There will be no solution
I'm not
simply
too happy
because.
about this.
Yeah, well, that's his choice to
Because he's
continue to
angry
use that
and-
restroom. No, he's never stopped using it. He has no problem plunging and snaking and all those other things. That's his thing. Nothing to do with us. It flushes, you just have to snake it. He snakes it, therefore he has no issue. I'm not snaking it, therefore I will go use another bathroom. He solves this problem. I'm not solving the problem, therefore I don't cause the problem. You're not solving the problem, so don't go in there. Michael's not solving the problem, so don't go in there. But he solves it, so he can go in there.
Might as well just get back on to legislation when it's fine.
Okay, so I will say this in conclusion. We can't move forward with anything if we can't talk about it. This what's transpiring right now is not talking about it.
Not. Go ahead.
Because the point that I'm making, and the reason why I'm asking questions, is I do not believe that I believe that I just honestly believe you're comfortable and you're only doing enough to maintain your comfort in your discomfort. And that's just honestly what I believe is happening. That you are not uncomfortable enough, because we've been in this financial situation since 2022 based on my journal, if not longer. And we're still, I need to get a second income. I'm gonna get a second income. And it's like, okay, so you've been in a space of financial frustration for at least 2 years and you still haven't gotten to a point of a second income. I am not telling you to get a second income. I'm just saying the fact that you are comfortable, and I guess you haven't experienced enough discomfort to actually take action, because a resource has been there, renter's assistance, which will probably take an hour out of a day. Put a reminder on your calendar, send yourself a text message, create a to-do list, whatever you need to do to handle your business, and know what we have and what we continue to have and will continue to have, because you will not allow a conversation to be had for you to figure out why you procrastinate and not handle your business. There is something taking place there, and you don't even care enough that you're walking out of the door. So we're moving into not envy love. We are writing from how love does not envy for self, how love does not envy for others, and how love does not envy for circumstances. So that is this week's work.
So that's all
How
of
love
the
does it envy yourself? How love does it envy the circumstances?
Every single one is self, other, circumstances. So it should be kindness, patience, and envy, love, self, other, circumstances.
I'm working through my problems. I'm handling them.
Yeah, but you have an entire family, so you can't work through shit. We have to work through it. And this is me breaking decorum because this is stupid. This is fucking stupid. For you to say you want to grow and move, and then every time we try to grow and move, you're a fucking problem, Dre. I'm sorry if this hurts your feelings, but you are stopping. You are the head of the household.
I'm not
when
stopping.
No, you are
Not
the
moving.
head of the household, and when people ask you, how are you heading this household? When you guys are challenging me, don't ask me questions. I'm moving. No, nigga, you the head of the fucking household. How are you doing it? How can we support you?
What did I just
Then you
say?
leave
And
the
I just
room and
gave
go and do
answers.
all
I
these
gave
other
you
things.
answers.
And it's just
I
like,
gave
no,
you-
you gave us
I
rebuttals.
gave
Fuck
you
a
answers.
fucking rebuttal.
I gave
I'm
you
busy
answers.
all fucking day. No,
I
you're
gave-
not, nigga. If you really wanted to handle a situation, you've been home all fucking day, and you could have called about the water. You could have called about the renter's
It's 4th of
assistance.
July. Ain't nobody
You could
open
have
today.
called. You could have done anything that you can do yesterday. You show me your books. You got 2 people on your books. You have hours where you could solve your fucking problems, and you just sit in the fucking problem. So don't sit here and act like us asking questions to solve a problem is a fucking problem. You're the fucking problem. So stop saying like, I want to help. I'm okay with moving forward. And then when we try to, we can't.
Okay, I'm the problem.
All right,
then.
I'm done. I broke the quorum.
I'm the problem then.
Yeah, let's just stop there with your I'm the problem then. Fuck everything.
What else can I say about it? If you feel that I'm the problem, then
You
I
don't
have
feel
to work
you
on
are.
not being the problem.
No, you
I have
don't.
To, I guess,
Literally
what do I have
is
to
why
do?
we're asking the
own
questions.
initiative.
Well, what do you want
That
me to
is
do?
why we're
I
asking
can't
the
do nothing at this
questions.
moment. What do you want me to say?
That
Have a
is why
conversation.
I'm
we're
trying to have a
asking.
conversation.
You're not.
but-
You're
but-
rebuttaling.
but I'm
You're
not-
arguing.
Jesus Christ.
Dre.
So here's an example.
Right.
I'm gonna show you exactly.
I'm trying to talk
No,
to
I
you, but
broke the
everything.
quorum. I know I
everything-
said something that was
I know, but you guys gotta also be able to bring it down so you can have a conversation.
no. So let's go back. Let's go back since you're trying to have the conversation now. Let's have a conversation.
All you
You
want to
said
do-
your frustration, you don't know what I'm going to do because you will not allow me to do anything. And if you knew what I was going to do, we wouldn't even have to do
You
this
already
because
do
you'd
it.
be like, boom, boom, you right? Boom, it's done.
I've been
That's
trying
not what
to
we're
do this
doing.
right now, but you ain't
No,
letting me.
no. Then what am I asking you to do? What is the boom that you're trying to do? That I'm trying to suggest. What is that?
Say, what's your frustrations? What's your frustrations about the money issues and my brokenness?
That's not at all what I was gonna say.
All right, we don't even use that word over here.
Yeah, we don't use that word.
That's all you if you want to keep it
What?
broke.
Oh yeah, I thought you was.
Go ahead.
I
What you
thought
gonna say?
I'm really trying to help you come to a space of understanding what controls you need to put in place for your life to stop the procrastination, because the procrastination is putting your family at jeopardy. And it's not for lack of love for your family. It's not for lack of support of your family. It's not for lack of desire for your family. There is something within you, and it's probably because you never developed a skill.
That's what I'm
You've
thinking
done
about
what's
right now.
necessary. You've done everything you needed to do in order to make certain things happen. If we were evicted, I bet you would get some fucking fire under your ass. Why wait for eviction? What needs to happen for you to make changes in order for you to handle your business? Because the resources, you have been aware of these resources for over a year, but you have not taken advantage of these resources. Why not? That is what we need to figure out, because not only will that solve this frustration point, but it will also solve other frustration points, because there are things that need to be done that you don't do unless you have to, unless you're confronted with it. That's not progress. You are waiting till things get to a critical point before you address it. And that is not how our family needs to move forward. Things need to be addressed before they even become a problem. Before you need body wash, the body wash needs to already be under the sink. That is how I ran our household. But the moment I stopped running our house went to shit. And I said, I'm not picking anything back up until you guys pick shit up. If we want a budget, Dre, you are the only income. you need to sit down and establish a budget and tell us what needs to happen. Dre, you are aware of every single bill. Nobody else knows every single bill. Therefore, you need to initiate. Why aren't you initiating? We need to figure out the why. Because the why is why we can't move forward and you continue to be frustrated. Right. So we're trying to help you. You think bringing in more money is going to solve this. More money is more money in a hole that we don't even know what's in the fucking hole.
We had more money before when we got here.
Because I've lost clients.
So
you understand that? I don't have the same type of clientele that I had. I'm not bringing the same type of money that I used to bring in. See, it would be a problem if I was still bringing the same type of money in and then we would still having money issues, because that would mean I would be fucking up money.
I'm listening, don't worry.
So for over 2 years, because in this timeline, beyond 2 years actually, I was actually involved in the money.
We having this conversation if I still had the money.
It's not about the money.
We wouldn't be having this particular conversation, but we would be having this conversation because you will manifest frustration in another way, and we would still be having this conversation because the procrastination is the reason why I'm having this conversation.
That is a problem, okay? We already know that. I know it's a problem, but I can't do nothing about it at this moment of what you're talking about right now. And it doesn't do me any good for you to just sit up and keep telling me that I'm procrastinating and procrastinating why. At this moment, it doesn't do me any good. All it does is frustrate me more.
Can you pay attention to what you're doing? That's all it really does to me, to be honest with you. For you to sit up here and keep calling me that, I know what the fuck I gotta do. I know what the problem is, but for you to keep procrastinating, why? I know what I gotta do. I said I was gonna do it tomorrow or whatever I need to do, but for you to sit up here and recalling, or you had yesterday in the month of blah 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 and this to do, that ain't helping me do shit. That's just frustrating me more. Well, why are you procrastinating with blah blah blah? We need to talk about it, but that ain't helping me at all.
Then what helps you?
It helps telling me that's procrastination. Listen to me telling me,
Don't say anything. She said ignoring it. Because you don't want to be told that you're not taking care of
you telling me, you can't
This is the conversation we're having today.
All you have to do is tell me then, well, what are you going to tell me after telling me? What kind of conversation are we having after you tell me?
If you allow the conversation to happen.
And I just told you my answer to that. But you're not accepting that. You're not accepting my answer. You're not accepting my answer.
We're moving forward with the conversation.
You're not, because it's going to come back to this.
So you rather not.
You're going to say.
I do have a question. Am I supposed to ask a question? So, I'm in a family meeting to solve family concerns.
So, okay,
I'm going to ask about, hey, how much is the meat at the deli today? Or can I ask a question that's relevant to the conversation? What am I supposed to ask after following up from what you said? Because I hear what you said, but now I have a question.
You asked after I answered the question.
What's the question I was about to ask?
You asked the same shit.
What's the question I was about to ask?
Words. But it'd be the same shit.
What was it? What was the same shit? Give me a summary.
I don't even know, but just ask your question. You say you got a question, but ask what's the question now?
How long have you been aware of procrastination? Is this a new thing that just came to you, or is it something that's something
we've been talking about this for 2-3 years now. You know my problems already. You know it too, and you acting like you don't know. And we done talked about this with the psychiatrist and the therapist and all of this shit, and now you still. Well, when did you know that this was happening?
Well, because she's trying to make you feel better. Because you don't like
it's not making me feel better. It's not making me feel better.
Well, then
I'm not trying to make you feel better. Let me have this conversation. I'm not trying to make you feel better. You were saying...
It's frustrating me.
Okay. You are expressing to me that you're okay with living in a space of problems.
I'm not okay with living in a space of problems.
So
Don't say that. I'm not upset.
You said that we addressed it 3 years ago. We addressed it with the psychiatrist. We've addressed it. So we have acknowledged the problem. We've acknowledged the problem. Yes, at what point are we going to actually work through the problem? Do you think that... No, I am not talking about anything specific. I'm asking you about procrastination. I'm asking you about procrastination.
We're walking through the problem. We're working through the problem right now.
So, at what point are we going to address procrastination? Let me know when it feels warm and fuzzy for you. Then why are you arguing the fact that we're talking about procrastination
for like 45 minutes now?
No, we were talking about frustration, and then we moved into
for about 45 minutes. The procrastination word has been buzzing around for about a good 15, 20, 45 minutes. The procrastination word has been buzzing around. I thought that we was delegating with that. We were talking about that. We was talking about my procrastination, my inability to support the family right now. I thought that's what we was talking about. My ability not to take the steps to go get the assistance and shit for the whole family. I thought that's what we was talking about.
So what are the solutions we came up with?
The solution that I came up with is to get up off my ass and do the shit. That's pretty much all you got to do to stop procrastination.
No, because we'll be in a space of procrastination.
Well, what you want to do? Well, then give me some suggestions.
No, that's
You
why
need to
we're
have a
having
personal drive yourself.
I personally don't want to have this conversation anymore.
Okay.
But what I do want to address is the fact that you say that you are opening to be able to grow further, and you're not demonstrating that.
Because it's not what you want.
So that is a frustration. Literally, what solutions have we come up with?
I told you.
What? No, my question was, why are you frustrated?
And I said,
and we
what
got
was my answer to stop that? And what was my answer?
I got it written out, so I'm
Say
about
it.
to.
What's
I'm
my
about
answer?
to say it. If you stop fucking cutting me off, shit, like really. Fuck. It's like talking to a kid. This shit is crazy. You said you were frustrated. We identified that it was kids tearing things up and lack of money. And so we came up with solutions or possible solutions simply because we said removing expenses. We need to now go through the expenses. So you understand that a conversation, hand me my whiteboard. Is there a white marker over there?
No.
Well, it doesn't matter. If we're having a conversation, I need a pen though. If we're having a conversation, it's gonna start here with frustration. And then from frustration, we're gonna figure out why you're fucking frustrated. And after we figure out what you're frustrated about, now we're gonna figure out why. And then we're gonna have some more solutions. Do you understand that a fucking conversation has to map down to get to fucking solutions and action items? We just stopping at removing expenses. Well, what are the expenses that need to be removed? What are unnecessary things that we're spending money on that we can remove? But you don't even want to have that conversation. Okay, additional streams of income. Yes, it is. If your issue is lack of money. If your issue is lack of money. Because we're fucking arguing about asking you a goddamn question. We can't even ask you fucking questions, Dre. Listen. We can't ask you questions.
Can I say something? Yes, you can. You can ask me questions. But then you went off into a whole budget, and that's not what we was talking about. We was talking about my inability to shake the procrastination. That's what we was talking about, and that was something secondary that you just started talking about right there. You talking about breaking down budgets and all kind of stuff. I don't know, but that's not what we was talking about.
I was explaining to you how the conversation should flow if you allowed the conversation to flow, but you are stopping every time we come to a space because you feel like you're being attacked for some reason when you know all the bills. You're bringing in the most of the money.
Right, like
so
you try to say, you need to go do it, Bailey. If
this
you
is
want
working
to pay
through
the water,
your
go do it.
frustration.
I'm just saying, y'all acting like you can't bring up a budget when you know all the bills.
We don't
We
know
don't
all
have
the
income
bills.
of ourselves.
To say is that
Literally, we ask you for grocery money, Dre.
Go ahead, Angel.
He's trying to say that you're the one that has the money and you're the one that
Gotta
has
make the budget.
access to the people that you have to pay the bills to.
I don't have. Does she have every access to everybody that needs their money? The money, she got access to all of those too. I have access to the money. She know every bill that we have to pay in this house.
I do not.
You do.
I don't know your registration. I don't know your insurance.
Not,
I don't know your
my
credit card.
bill.
That's not my bills. There's no such fucking
Yes,
thing
it
as
is.
my
That's
bills.
my-
When
that's
money
my
is
bill.
leaving this house, it is
Listen.
our home bills.
You know that I told you the amount of the registration. Too,
I don't
anyway.
know. I don't know. Can we write shit down like this?
I can write all my. I did it already. As a matter of fact,
Where?
I did it already. It's
But
in
why
my,
haven't I seen it then?
cause it's in my journal.
Okay, that's fair. But still, how are we supposed to know what's in the journal to help us all?
Okay, I'll write it. I'll write.
We gotta
every
steal
bill.
Dre's journal, guys.
I'll write every bill down. Let's write every bill down right now.
That's not what we're here for. Like
Let's
you
go on,
said,
let's go.
we're here.
Come on, we're here now.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Write every bill down.
I think it's more of like, it's not the bills, it's conversation.
It's the inability to have a conversation.
I can have a conversation.
Well, then let's
I
keep
just don't
going.
like getting
Was this?
badgered.
This was.
We're not being badgered.
Yes, y'all is. Y'all
Okay,
How
so-
would you like
about
the
bullshit.
conversation to go then?
Damn, so what the fuck does conversation mean? Then my hair keeps getting stuck. What does conversation? We need a definition of conversation because I feel this has not been a conversation. What does conversation mean to everybody?
If you like, just like talking about something.
So conversation is talking about something to Michael. What does conversation mean to you, Bailey? I'm coming to you, Angel, as well.
Multiple
And Dre.
perspectives are able to be expressed and deciphered.
All right, what did you say, Michael?
I said, like talking about something.
Talking about something?
Yeah.
Why are we talking about it? Just to
Yes.
talk, or is there a reason why we're talking about it?
There's a reason why it's important
Something important.
and probably it's like emergency.
Okay. All right, so we're talking about something important. Is it because we just want to talk about it? We want to solve a problem? We want to understand each other? Why are we talking? Because we want things to stay the same, or we
Mutual
want things to
understanding.
change?
Oh, I want change. Sorry,
I'm
you're
asking
asking
him.
him.
Are we talking about something important because we want things to stay the same, or we want to see them change? Why are we talking? Or both?
Because you kind of to see to change.
So we're talking about something important to see change. Okay. I like the way you developed that definition. Angel, why do people have conversation? What's your definition of conversation?
My definition of conversation is where two people
Only two? Or two or more?
people plural.
Alright, so people. Alright.
People have a conversation in which they exchange words and try to not come to understanding, because it's not always, a come to an understanding conversation, to try to understand each other better. Even if it's like understanding what either of them like to do in their free time, or understanding what that person needs to do to help themselves and each other.
Alright, so two people having communication or conversations to create understanding. Beautiful definition. Dre, what is the definition of conversation?
Two people or more in dialogue for basic understanding.
Alright, and my definition of conversation is communicating to create understanding, share ideas, and build bonds. All right, we have all heard everybody's definition of conversation. With that understanding, are we having a conversation right now?
This is the argument. This is an argument. That's all I have to say.
This is an argument?
Yes.
Is an argument different than a conversation?
Yes.
Okay. Bailey, are we having a conversation right now?
I say we are.
Like, not presently. What has
No,
been
I
happening?
think we are.
Okay.
I feel like we are in the midst of a conversation. It's just the way that we talk to each other is very inflammatory.
Okay.
Like, say, pointing fingers, raising voice, me being direct. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what type of approach.
But you've picked up on some areas of improvement in
Right, but
communication.
I would say it's definitely a conversation. It wasn't like it was. I don't think it was an argument until you said you're the problem.
Okay. Dre, based on what's transpiring this time, not presently, but this time, have we been having a conversation?
I feel it was a conversation for the most part, more than a conversation in a meeting.
Two people or more in dialogue for basic understanding. So that's what's been transpiring this whole time?
It's been arguing people's emotions and different situations, but yeah, for the most part, it's still been a conversation. It's been, yeah, I feel.
Okay,
I got
so
information out of it. I got some understanding out of it still. So, I don't think that because you can't control somebody the way they talk, doesn't mean that they're not still having a conversation.
I'm not trying to control anyone. I actually asked everybody in the room what their definition is, and based off of those definitions, I'm curious. My only question is, if you said that we are having a conversation, but there have been arguments, my additional question is, who are the people who brought argument into this space? Who took the conversation into an argument space?
Well, it's Angel because she was the most observant.
Of course, it's gonna be me.
Who took
Well,
the
see, this is what we can't set as a tone.
conversation
I'm gonna say it's me. I'm just gonna say it was me.
into an
Because I'm not the way I'll be talking to.
argument space? Angel, who took the conversation into an argument space? Speak your truth.
She's looking at me.
She's looking at both of us.
I'm gonna need y'all to have some.
I already took responsibility.
Say what? It's not about responsibility, it's about growth. I am not having any conversations to point fingers. And when I did say he was a problem, I said I'm breaking format. I said right now, I'm not trying to focus on solutions. I'm saying what the fuck I'm thinking, because I'm done playing nice because this is stupid. And then I said, I'm finished. And I went back into, so whether it was right or wrong, I feel it's a growth space because I would just say the shit and be justified in it. But no, I understand it's ineffective. For me, that is taking accountability for me taking this out of a conversation and moving into an argument space. So I will own my own contribution into taking this into an argument space. So I believe the individuals that took this conversation into an argument space was Dre and Lonnie. Who are Dre and Lonnie in this family?
The household.
Who are we? What are our
Head of
roles?
household.
What are our roles in this family?
Mom and dad, leaders, example setters.
We got leaders, providers, parents, head of household. What else did you say?
Guidance, leadership.
Guidance. Okay. So the two people that are the leaders, the providers, the parents, the guidance, and the household are the two people who demonstrated inability to have a conversation and who chose to argue. Is that something we should be demonstrating for our children? I can say no.
Do you want me to answer it?
Yes, it was a question.
Yeah, of course it's no.
If it's in the course, what changes would you be making actively so you're not setting a poor example?
I don't think I set poor examples all the time for my kids. I think that situation, it wasn't a poor example. That was just them seeing us arguing or going through a conversation. I don't think that was setting a bad example. Now, I don't sit around here all the time setting bad examples for the kids. What do I do that sets a bad example for the kids?
having arguments in front of them with mom, no matter
That
what it
wasn't-
is. Whatever
You asked her and
conversation-
she answered, and
Okay,
so
but when
did that
it's
happen?
to receive
When-
it.
How many times did that happen?
It
Like,
just happened.
any times that happens, it shows them that it's okay.
that was an argument. I thought it was a conversation.
Well, in
There
the
were
child's mind,
arguments
like
within
Angel
that.
said, she literally said, "Is this an argument? Can we leave?" Like, in a child's mind, they hear people yelling, they hear people pointing fingers, they hear people saying that you're a problem, they hear all these things, and then they go and do it to other people,
They shouldn't be.
and expecting to just be in a conversation with the other people.
They should. I think they should know better than
They don't know.
doing it to. Well, then
They don't.
should
You gotta
know.
teach them,
They only know what's being demonstrated to them.
and you have to either demonstrate the right thing or you have to teach them the right thing. Intentionally teach them.
And you can't demonstrate one thing and teach them the opposite, because they're going to do what's demonstrated. Because it's easier to do what's easy to do.
And that's the example that you're setting.
That's
for
what's
them,
being said.
to do the
So
easiest
at
thing
any
for
time
you.
in this conversation, you and I could have demonstrated, yes, we reached a frustration point in this conversation, but we could have chose, because we are aware that we are demonstrating for our children how to talk through difficult discussions. And we both chose in a difficult space to begin arguing instead of figuring out how to work through that frustration, which in turn teaches our children how to work through the frustration. Which for me is my primary goal, is to demonstrate for my children right thinking, right movement, and to feel and to believe that you need to live your life in a space of frustration, especially when it comes to your home and your family. That is not what I desire to demonstrate for my children. And that is why I asked you about, why do you feel that living in a space of frustration is a part of life? So that is why I asked you that question. Because there's a lot of things that we have taken into our identity and definition of self that do not serve us. And if we choose to say, I'm a man, I could be frustrated, then Michael's gonna say, I'm a man, I could be frustrated, and then Caden's gonna say, I'm a man, I could be frustrated.
There's no way
And
you
who's
can
to
be
say that
frustrated.
he'll be a woman beater, and that's how his...
Just because you get
But
frustrated
that's-
does not mean you're a woman beater.
He can be.
He's not.
We don't know how his
That's
frustration
not-
is
that's
going
not-
to manifest.
You never know.
So,
I'm not speaking it over
I'm out.
him. Okay.
How do you not know what your kids are
I'm out.
susceptible to
Y'all,
do?
Come on, man.
So she can't even put something on
Women
the
beaters
table,
aren't
and
real.
soon as
Just
somebody
because
puts
a man
something
get
on the
frustrated, he a
table.
woman beater?
I'm saying
No,
that he
he
can
said
be.
you
That's
don't
what she just said, and that's not true.
That's not what I'm saying. I literally said
Don't
that
think
it
that.
can... What? Set the
shit
example. Set the example for me
I'm
then.
setting you. I'm
No,
telling
you're
you an
not.
example.
No,
Yes,
you're
I
not.
am. I
Voice
Because
told
you're
you
the
is
same person who
elevated.
woman beats. Come on
I don't
now.
woman beat.
You
What are
literally
you
have
talking
touched me
about?
before.
Yeah,
Let's
you're
be real.
disrespectful, and you my child.
Now we're...
No,
She's
I'm-
disrespectful.
It's
you-
different.
so
you gotta
you
set the
feel the
tone
way
because I'm a
that you-
child. What you're showing me...
Man, whatever. You
No,
touch
it's not
me.
whatever. It's not
So
whatever.
you
You touch...
feel that
Well, they know. They know. They know
I
better.
touched you first?
They know better.
I touched you first?
They know better.
That's what justifies it, right? So they don't know that. They don't know that since they're... Since
Hey,
a woman
hey,
touches
listen,
them...
I'm gonna
so
let you
in
know
the
this
midst
right
of
now.
that-
I'm gonna say this
in
right
the
now.
midst of that,
If
he
any
should have
of my
looked at his
child
sons. He should have looked at his sons and
I wasn't there
said,
first. Don't worry.
okay, and I'll
Go
make my
go
point.
ahead.
I was
go
trying
ahead.
to give you the respect
So
of
that's
listening.
the difference
Go ahead.
between demonstration and teaching. Your demonstration is
But I should know
putting
better.
your hands on a woman, but
No,
your
you don't
teaching.
put your hands on
no,
no woman
your
like that. You don't put your
demonstration
hands on.
your demonstration was doing that though.
And you
Can
did
we
it
agree?
multiple times.
That is
No.
what you demonstrated.
It's-
On
it's-
three
that's a whole nother
on three occasions, you have put your hands on Bailey
That's only
inappropriately. 3 in the truck, in here when I got between you, and here on the floor. There are 3 occurrences that
It was justified because you were disrespectful.
justified or
exactly.
not,
And-
3 times you have put your hands on Bailey. That was the
And
demonstration.
if she was a dude, it would have been the same thing.
It's still the demonstration.
I'm not letting nobody that say I say that they my kid or I'm raising talk to me or disrespect me like that.
Okay, so
That's
you're
your justification.
demonstrating.
That's
That is
okay.
my justification.
And it's
So
okay.
now-
and when my sons get grown and their kids disrespect them, female or male, then they got a right. Yeah, beat that ass. Yes.
So yes, set the tone and go tell
It
him
ain't
to
no
do that.
tone. It
Make
ain't
sure
no
you tell him.
tone. Don't touch no lady. Don't be disrespectful and beat on no lady or go out and whoop on no little girl, no shit like that. But when you get grown and your kids disrespecting you, yeah, you got the right to discipline them.
Now, honestly,
Have
I
you
feel
had
like
that
times-
conversation with them?
Have you had a conversation with Andre about that?
Have you?
Andre ain't out here beating no girls either.
How do you know
what
that?
Andre is
Andre
doing.
ain't beating no girls.
Have
you
you
know
had
that.
it? We don't know what anybody's
I do know
doing.
that.
You
I can
don't
honestly
know.
say that Andre ain't out
He
whooping no
bit me,
girl.
bro. He bit me.
He did,
He
but
bit
that's
me.
okay.
And
Oh, that's beating on girls. Okay.
it's
He did
what?
that while he was playing. What does he do when he's really in it?
Okay.
We don't
Alright,
know
so
because
now Andre's
have you
the
had
one.
a conversation?
You're not having a conversation.
Yes
because
or
you're
no?
not able
Have
to
you
call
had
it
a
an answer.
conversation?
Let me call
It's
it
just a
answer.
yes
You're
or
wrong
no.
here.
Have you had a
No,
conversation?
I haven't had a
So
conversation
you
to
don't
my
know
son about
what
being-
your
him being a woman
kids.
beater.
But he observed you beating
But
on a
I'm
woman.
a woman
But he
beater, so that's
observed
gonna
you.
make him automatically make him a
No,
woman
exactly. That was what you demonstrated of what a man is.
Right.
When a man is frustrated, he puts his hands on somebody.
If
he
When a
feels
man is
disrespected-
frustrated, when he's
No.
disrespected, he
No.
puts his hands on a
No.
woman. When a woman puts her hands
No.
on you first, you put your hands on her. That is what you have demonstrated. Have you actually had conversations with your children that
Yeah.
says, hey, I understand that I demonstrated. You have taken Caden and Michael aside, and this is exactly, you don't know. You don't know.
So why are you saying?
Exactly.
yet.
Please let me get my sentence out.
They brain can't even comprehend that type shit yet.
Please
I
let me
can't.
get my
They
sentence
not.
out.
They not
Just let him
even.
finish.
They not even into teenagehood, let alone manhood. They not even ready for that conversation yet. I don't have to have that conversation with them right now.
Then why are you setting poor examples for
Can I
them?
ask a question? So at the
It wasn't a
age,
poor example for me disciplining your ass for being disrespectful to your fucking father or stepfather, whoever
I'm
the
not
fuck
saying
you
that
call
it
me.
is.
So whatever. It's not disrespectful for me discipline you. I don't care what you say. I don't care. I don't care what you say. I wasn't being disrespectful, and I'm not no woman beater because
How are you gonna tell me how I'm supposed to feel though?
whatever, you can say that. But if a man if you go get into a relationship and he put his hands on you, then that's woman beating. That's disrespectful. I mean,
Now,
that's
what is it,
that's
though?
woman beating.
What's the
But-
difference?
but his definition of
The
disrespect.
same thing if you had a kid, if you go and hire your kids and then they come and be disrespectful and you gotta punch your son in the fucking throat or the chest or whatever you gotta do. Is that male bashing or whatever the hell that is? What is that?
Honestly, I
It is
feel like
violent.
That's parenting.
Oh, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm asking you a question.
Cause you just smacked this man in the lips for just poking his lips out.
I didn't smack the shit out of him. I went like that.
Whatever, it's too different. You said I'm woman beating when I just put my finger on your face. That's woman beating, so you can't say that shit.
You shoved
And you
me,
threw
but
her
we're not-
phone.
I didn't
You
shove
broke
you.
her
That's
phone.
woman beating. Throwing the phone is woman beating.
That's
When
abuse.
That's
man
violent
beating, when
circumstance.
man
Let's justify
abuse
abuse.
is smacking your son in the lips.
So if one of your children came to you and said, this was the circumstances that have happened, no, this is something you need to be exposed to because you too have been
This is
exposed
who
to
you
violence.
idolize at the same time. So remember, listen to all his words and listen to what he
You ain't
justifies.
funny, baby.
I'm not
That
funny.
reverse-
I'm not
that reverse-
laughing.
That reverse
No,
bullshit you
if
try to
she
say.
is looking
that-
for
what you-
a
this is who
man
you
that she
idolize.
admi- yes,
No,
she
I'm the
admires
perfect
you.
man
You
that
are
you
the
need. You
demonstration.
need to be with a motherfucker like me.
This is what I'm talking
So
about.
there's no work for you to do to improve because
Except
if she
procrastination.
was, if Angel, let me finish my question, please. Let me ask a question.
Yeah, this the one
Can
who
I
like
ask a
you,
question?
like him.
Can I ask a question? If Angel came home and said, "Yo, me and my boyfriend, we were having an argument, and he put a fucking hole in the wall. He broke the light switch. You know, he threw my cell phone."
Did he
What
put
would your
his
response-
hands- Did he put his hands on you?
Oh, so he's allowed to do all those things.
No,
Around
no,
you.
No,
no,
this
no,
is your child.
No, because they in a relationship, they're gonna have problems. This is what you don't understand. And when you're in a relationship, you're in a marriage, you have problems. Shit happens. Things, but you work them out. If it escalates to him putting his hands on him, then that's when you go get.
So
Other people involved.
Exactly.
It ain't to the point where if I put my hand through a wall or I do some shit like that, that's in frustration of that conversation, whatever the hell we was having. I didn't touch her. I didn't do anything to her. Yeah, I left. Oh, that nigga left. We was heated as hell. But shit, he ain't put his fucking hands on me. That nigga knew what to do in that aspect. He left and we'll have this conversation. We'll pick up this shit later. But the motherfucker didn't put his hands on me. But if he did, if he go and then put his hands on you, then you call him police and all that shit and everything escalate. You call him daddy or whatever the hell you doing, all that shit escalated after that.
So you wait until you get
I would
hit
like to have
tell someone.
I would like to have a role play situation.
It ain't no waiting until you get what you gonna do?
Said.
What am I? You want me to come over and discipline this man because he put his hand through the wall?
We're asking you what.
But you want the police to come because the motherfucker put his hand through the wall?
We're asking you what headspace Angel should be in when someone does these things around her. Should she accept somebody who punches holes in the wall, breaks her phone, has light switch? Like, she doesn't know this.
You
we're
don't
saying
have
what,
to accept anything.
We're
So
saying
that's what we're asking.
Example are you setting if you're not telling us what to do?
And we're saying, what are we supposed to do? If your daughter comes to you and say, this is the boy that I'm dating, these are the behaviors he's exhibiting.
If he's exhibiting anger issues, then they dating. Yeah, it's probably that's justifications for leaving.
Okay.
You got red flags. Those are red flags for leaving. If you don't want to continue or find out how far that situation goes, then yeah, you leave.
So why is it okay for you to demonstrate that for her and it be okay?
I'm not demonstrating anything. We is
Everything
in a different
that I
relationship.
listed.
We is in a different relationship, and we is in a whole different relationship. That's what you're not understanding.
So now she has to wait for her husband to abuse her, and her husband can abuse her.
I don't want to talk about this
different
because this is
relationship.
so.
It's not, because you're not listening to what you're saying.
We already talked about
it feels like
two people or
like
more in dialogue for basic understanding.
Male chauvinistic, women, whatever the hell, like y'all bashing men at this point to me.
Okay.
And it's not right.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to see at some point, can you see how the example and demonstration that you're making... Yes, there is a good man who has growth potential. But if he is unwilling to acknowledge that he has growth potential, he will continue to believe that what he's exhibiting is okay. And you exhibiting violence in any form is not okay. And for you to demonstrate that for your sons as a man, and for you to demonstrate for your daughters as potential people to be in relationships is not okay to me. We understand if you're frustrated, you lash out. We get that. But what you're not understanding is you are teaching your daughters to be with motherfuckers who are physically violent, no matter how that manifests. You are teaching your sons when they're frustrated, they can be. We're literally telling you. Why are you denying? Do you think there's a 1%? Because do you think that there is a 1% potential when everybody else? Oh my God, I don't.
Right.
How not? You are so fucking prideful. You are so. What is it? Where is it at?
I'm not gonna sit you. I'm not
Number
gonna
5. Love is not proud.
I'm not gonna
Do you think that if your kids, literally your son, Derek, when he wrote his rap song, he talked about how fucked up it was to watch you beat on his mama. You don't think that impacted him in any way? Do you think it impacted him in any way? That's a yes or no question. Do you think your actions impacted your children? And your children then get to decide how that impacts them. I watched people smoke fucking crack in front of me. And in that time, I had a choice. Do I smoke crack or don't I smoke crack? I chose not to. I have cousins out there who chose to smoke crack. So when something is demonstrated for you, especially by someone you respect and idolize,
have a choice, right?
Exactly.
Sounds like you have a choice.
You have a choice. Dre is a great guy, but guess what? When he's frustrated, he does this. And it's okay because he's a great guy. Or Dre's a great guy and he works on his shit.
He whoops him up. He fucks him up.
No one even put that.
If you don't even
humble their ass down.
Exactly. So I will make sure that I talk to my sons because you don't feel it's important. I will make sure that I talk to my sons. You said no.
I talk to them when it's appropriate and when
it's appropriate when they see you put your fucking hands on somebody. That's when it's is appropriate. You have not talked to anybody because you said that they can't comprehend it. You literally said they're not teenagers. So if you demonstrate something at 5 and 6 or 4 and 5, if you demonstrate something at 4 and 5, from the moment they see it, let me just tell you about the fucking child's mind. Since you know every fucking thing, I actually sat in the classroom. So let me tell you about child development. You don't know about child development because you would not sit here and say, you would not, okay, boom, boom. I am smarter. I am. In this particular area, I have a little bit more knowledge than you. Yes. And if you be willing to listen, you can get some of this knowledge. The moment that a child is exposed to something, they now are processing what they were exposed to. And I am acknowledging that my voice is escalated, and I'm going to drop my voice because I am self-correcting. I am being patient, and I am demonstrating kindness in my love expression. Because I really want you to understand this, Stray. I really want you to understand that everything that you demonstrate for our children, from the moment that they are exposed to it, whether it's love, whether it's hate, whatever you are demonstrating for your children, the moment that they see it, they are now trying to make sense of it. And so if you choose to wait until they're teenagers where you think that they can understand it, they've already been processing it for a decade. So for a decade, they saw you do a particular behavior. And they're like, well, Dad was angry and he did it, so I'm going to do it too. Caden walks around here slamming doors. Caden walks around here hitting walls. Caden walks around here stomping his feet. No, I don't want to wait until he gets to 21 to correct it. I want to pay attention to what he's observing to believe that this is correct behavior. I want to pay attention to making sure that I am redirecting that behavior. I am also, as you are saying, acknowledging that he is 5 years old and these are the ways that he is. This might be a phase he's going through, but I'm paying attention to it. I'm not dismissing it. And what I feel is happening is a sense of not taking accountability for a demonstration, believing that the things that we do are not impacting our children, and that honestly, I'm just like, as long as he's a good guy, it's okay as long as he doesn't put his hands on you. Come back to me once he puts his hands on you, and then we can talk. I feel that is what all came from this conversation, and that's not at all what I would like to see demonstrated for my children, regardless of how disrespectful you feel Bailey was. What was demonstrated for our sons was not, and we've had this conversation. This is why I walked out of Texas Roadhouse, because this is the exact same conversation, because here we are all these months later after you've expressed that you have learned and that you have changed, you are still justifying bad behavior. When I kicked my foot through that door, I justified it. She was in there playing with fire. But no, it's not justified. I did not have to kick my foot through the door. I kicked my foot through the door because I was proving a point, because I knew she was playing in my face. And that's why I kicked my foot through the door. Does that make it right? No, I shouldn't have done it. Which means I can take accountability for a decision that I made. I acknowledge that I did something. I acknowledge why I did it. But I also acknowledge, regardless of why I chose to do it, it shouldn't have been done.
That's exactly what I did.
That is not what you did. You have justified and justified and justified.
I take accountability for what I did. I shouldn't put my hands on you. But my reasoning is because I'm not going to let no child of mine talk to me or disrespect me or what you want to say, play in my face like that. I don't care.
Right,
and I did the same thing to Derek. I punched him in his motherfucking chest, and I do the same thing to Andre, and I do the same thing to Precious or anybody or any one of my kids who think they gonna disrespect me like that. Period.
And how do you think that has transpired in their lives? Biting people for fun?
Biting people for fun. That's the only thing he ever done. Like,
So
so
far.
you like you think he go out around biting women
Yes.
all over the place?
You
He
think
don't.
wants
you
to.
think that's the first time he bit somebody?
Yeah,
Like
I
something
do.
something
I do.
triggered in his
Just
head.
on
Bite!
on some dumb shit like that. Yeah. I
First
think
time
that was the
ever. I'm
first time he
24
ever
years
just
old. I'ma
grabbed
bite this girl
baby
right
and
now.
bit. I don't think he just go around biting motherfuckers.
Shoot, he just does it for
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
That's what he
you know
does.
what?
Ask him. Let's call him now.
Yeah, please do. Ask him if he bites people for fun, because that's what he did, right?
Yeah, because I think that's what he was.
That's the question.
Does he bite people for fun?
That
He
is
just
the
run
question.
around biting people.
And it's not they trying to say that it no. Just ask him, do you bite people for fun? Yes, Angel, you can leave.
This feels
You can write down your 3 paces of envy, self, others, circumstances. Go take a shower and change your shirt.
that's my armpits.
No, I do not. The shirt is dirty enough.
Bye, Mom.
See you, dear.
Bye, guys. Peace out.
Bye. No worries. It's more of
How do you plan on demonstrating non-envious love this week? This was fruitless, per usual.
I don't know. I'm on that right now. I don't really know what envy means. Like, I don't know what the physical embodiment of envy. Like, when's the time that I've shown envy?
Google what does it mean? Right?
A feeling or discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or lack.
Okay, so we can either choose to stand in a space of envy or we can stand in a space of admiration. So if someone's luck or circumstances or something that can be like, ugh, you know, which I don't feel that's something that I manifest, but instead of the moment you feel that, ugh, you need to transmute that into, you know, I see something that I desire for myself. How can I get it, my version of that?
Right.
So I think the opposite of envy is
The definition of envy is wanting somebody else's stuff, right?
Yeah.
Envious of somebody else's gains, envious of somebody's goal, wanting somebody else's position. That's envious. Right?
Yeah. You can still engage, Mom. Don't worry.
I didn't say anything. I'm trying to
No,
figure out
I know,
how
but
to.
I mean, you still talk to him.
I'm not talking to him. You
It
read
just
the
seemed-
definition.
It seemed like it for a minute, cause like
I'm gonna
He's
get
like,
the cold
right?
shoulder after this. Don't worry.
You're not
You said
gonna
what?
get the cold
I
shoulder.
said, I'm gonna get the cold shoulder after this.
see, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help y'all.
He just doesn't know how to move forward, and it's really silly.
And I think you both don't know how to move forward, because that right there was a correction of you, so you could move forward, and then it turned into a
No,
he took
because
the cake.
because he doesn't know this entire conversation, this entire hour and a half has literally been having the same arguments we always have. And even if it was different words, it's the exact same argument. There's no way to move forward with someone who's unwilling to take accountability for choices, for someone who's unwilling to acknowledge how their actions affect others, someone who's unwilling. The moment you justify it,
The moment you have but afterwards,
think
it's
y'all- I
not
think
real
y'all-
justification.
I think y'all just be saying a lot of words and stuff, man. Sometimes it don't pertain to what my feelings is.
because you refuse to move past the space of your feelings. Do you understand that we cannot grow? Do you understand growth is movement? It's movement. Growth isn't like this,
What am I
but
not
we're
moving?
growing in this
What
space.
am I not
We
moving?
literally just had a conversation
What am I
about
not
how
moving?
your actions demonstrated a certain behavior to your children, and you justified all of it. And said
I-
there's no need to talk to them until they're teenagers. And I said, well, you know,
No, I said,
from the moment
I
of
said
exposure.
I said until the situation come up, because when the situation did come up, every time I said this is not the way Daddy's supposed to be, and I went to both of my kids or all of my kids actually. And you can ask Angel. I talked to her too, and I talked to Bailey too. I told you, and I said that's not what I'm supposed to do. But situations
But-
that happen, that's what happens.
But-
And I tell, and there ain't no but to it. I'm just telling. And I told Andre, and I told Caden and I told Michael that that's not what men do. That's not how you solve your problems. I said that to them, all to the side, each one of them individually. Right. But these are things that you don't see because I come to them when I don't have to bring you to every conversation when I'm talking to my kids.
We definitely should not have conversations like that as a family. You're correct.
Why can't I go to them and tell them myself? Why do I have to have every conversation under your umbrella? Why can't I talk to my kids? You talk to your kids the way you talk to them. I don't have to be there every time. We don't have to have a meeting every time you want to discuss something with any of your kids. But I have to have a meeting, or I have to get your approval every time I want to say something, or I have a conversation with my kids.
I don't think that's what she's saying.
I'm saying that's how I feel. Okay. That's how I feel like, because if it ain't said under her, then it didn't happen. Or I didn't talk to him.
I feel like she just doesn't know what's happening. Like Angel's.
And I'm telling you, you can't go ask Angel. I sit down and talk to Angel all the time. I pull her to the side. I give her gems or whatever you fucking want to call them. I'll go to her room sometime and just talk to her. I do that. I do that with Caden and Michael too. I grab them up, or they'll be in the back, or I do whatever, anything. I talk to my kids. Don't think that I don't talk to them. And when situation happen between me and you, I go and tell them that shit was wrong, bro. That's not how men supposed to do. That's not what your father's supposed to be.
And that should be your first reaction, because we know you know, but you need to be able to deliver.
What you mean? I'm supposed to be able to deliver in front of you guys. No, that's how you feel. No, I'm supposed to be able to deliver in front of you.
What?
That's not what you said, and that's how your initial reaction is supposed to be. And I said that's what my initial reaction was.
Can I explain what I mean?
We just had a 20-minute conversation.
That's what my initial reaction was. When I told you, it was just because y'all didn't see it.
I literally have the entire thing on video.
Yeah, we have a video.
We can redo it all.
You just now said what you did.
I'm talking about after the mix up, the scuffle, or whatever the fuck. Or whatever, and then I calm down or whatever in the hell, and then I come back and I talk to each one of my kids individually. I tried to come to you, but you didn't answer the door, and then that's when I sent the text.
You can't text those things.
No, I tried to come to you and you didn't answer your door, and then that's when I sent the text.
So you can't come to text with those things.
But anyway.
So what was my expression to you as your partner?
Just wasn't enough for you.
So what was my expression to you as your partner of how making that situation right should look like?
You wanted me to bring everybody or get her in a family meeting and say a lot of words and express my wholehearted feelings and my apologies to the whole family in one setting. And yeah, okay, that could have been done, but it didn't happen like that. It happened the way that I said it happened.
So can we be okay in a space of understanding that I still feel that you haven't addressed something?
Okay. Yeah.
And that's not even the point. You sat here and said, I'm not talking to my kids about those things until I feel they have the comprehension for it. That's what you said. So we have just had an entire argument to now you are expressing in a calm voice what transpired. I don't understand why we can't have conversations about difficult situations without you walking out, without you palming walls, without you yelling and raising your voice, without you rebuttaling, all these different things. I don't understand why we can't, because guess what? Every block that we have as a couple, every block that we have as parents, every block that we have as a family are all places. The reason why we haven't moved past it is because it's a touchy subject. But if we cannot address touchy subjects, we cannot continue to grow. And if you are comfortable, if this is the space that you want your family to remain, communicate that, and I will stop having meetings with you. Because what I desire for my home is for you to move in this space of leadership, which means you have to get some fucking words so that you can lead this family, which means there's a space of development for you so that you can lead this family. You cannot be a man of few words and think that your family's gonna know what the fuck you're thinking. You gotta get the words. That's just logic. If you are the head of this household, I should not be the one saying everything. And if I do introduce an idea, you should be behind me reinforcing the idea. And that is not what's happening. You sit quietly in conversations. Every idea that I have, you rebuttal. Or you just allow it to happen. But you do not add. Unless I say, Dre, what are your ideas? I got to go around the room and get everybody's ideas instead of my partner working with me. We do not have a partnership. And if you believe this is a partnership, that's the first place that we need to do some work.
Nope, it ain't no partnership. I feel like I'm by myself on this motherfucker.
And how can that be changed? I'm willing to change. How can that change? I'm willing to change.
We supposed to discuss that?
Literally was a question. It doesn't.
I thought that was a statement.
No,
You can watch Matilda or something.
I'm really over this. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Thanks.